Hello everyone. Well, that was a tiny tad awkward. Literally switched screens and unmuted my mic just as I was about to cough. Uh, ain't life fun when you got a cold. Hi everybody. Hi Ember. Once again. Hi Thin Red Line and hi Warlord Pete. I hope you're all well. Sorry we're running it quite late. Yeah, had a little bit of a mid-evening nap that turned into like a 3-4 hour sleep. So marvelous. But I'm not, if not a woman of my word. We're actually going to go ahead and still do our hobby stream tonight, even though it is late. It is seriously getting late, and I actually wanted to start winding down for the night now, but F it. If I keep doing this, I'm just going to keep putting stuff off, and it's just not good. It's not good for me. Oh, dear, oh dear. It is, of course. No, I think you've got 90% of my WIPs. Okay, good, good. That's a good reminder, actually. It is WIP Wednesday, so whenever you're ready, whenever you want to, if you've got any works in progress, anything that you've been working on, even if it's actually finished stuff, we're happy to show that off too. Stick it all in the Discord, and we'll do a bit of a showcase. We'll show it all off. It's going to be fantastic. Managed to finish my Leviathan Captain. Oh, brilliant! Excellent. On that note, we actually have stuff to work on tonight. Some Leviathan-esque bits. But yeah, no, it's all for my Salamanders to mark the release of the Space Marines Codex in the next, 10 days? 14th. 14th it comes out of pre-order, isn't it? Yeah, because it's a 2-week pre-order. So went on pre-order last weekend. It's going up for 2 weeks, and then 14th is when it releases. So, good stuff. Oh, I did say I was going to go all in on Chaos Space Marines this edition. I have actually been tinkering around with some army lists in the Warhammer 40k app, and I have at least 3 just regular Space Marine lists. So yeah, that's a thing. I've got my Salamanders. They're going to be the one I focus on the most. But I do also have a Terminator heavy list that I want to do in Carcharodons. Mostly just because I want to get a hold of the Leviathan Captain in his Terminator armor and convert him into Tyberos, the Red Wake. Just because I think that would be seriously effing cool. But I don't know whether or not I'd have to wait till they release that mini on its own before I can do that. Purely and simply because I don't know if the sprue in the Leviathan box comes with lightning claws or not. If it doesn't, then I might have to do some hunting on eBay. Or even maybe might have to either print or sculpt some of my own. It doesn't. Okay, good to know. Thanks for that. So, might have to wait for it to go out on full release, because looking at the datasheet, you can equip it with twin lightning claws, which suggests that the sprue on its own, the actual box on its own when it gets released, is going to have all those extra weapon options, which means Tyberos, here we come. Right. We'll do a quick roundup of the WIPs in the Discord. Just to get us all off onto a good start. Give me some inspiration and motivation to get some paint onto my own plastic. And also because I have the attention span of a particularly inattentive squirrel. I do need some sort of external motivation as to which of my 1,000 points worth of Salamanders am I gonna work on tonight. I could go the easy route and finish off the aggressors, because that does kind of seem like almost the easy option. That's a nice easy win. They're almost done anyway. But at the same time, if I leave it up for random chance, that means I'm not kind of boring myself. ADHA, look a squirrel. Somewhat. Except it's more along the lines of, hey, look, a squirrel. I best Wikipedia everything to do with squirrels. And then that leads you down just a massive hyperfocus hole, black hole of like all of the like the Wikipedia rabbit hole where you go down one link and then that makes you want to research another thing and then another thing and another thing and another thing and another thing, and before you know it, you're looking up videos of squirrels whilst also watching YouTube videos about like squirrel behavior and habitat and things like that. 4 hours have passed and it's long since too late to do any of the things you were supposed to be doing. And yes, stuff like that has happened to me on more than one occasion. Not gonna lie, I attempted to paint my new commissar. I mean, you don't even have it yet. Oh yeah, here's a jammy thing. So Ember does a thing here. Only managed to go ahead and win a giveaway in Hellstorm Wargaming stream. So she was in she popped into Hellstorm Wargaming Mikey's YouTube stream early this afternoon, signed up as like a channel member for the first time, and he did his giveaway that he usually does. It's for the Warhammer Fest Commissar. She only went and won the damn thing. So, you know, congrats to you, sweetheart. Right. I would say not jealous at all, but I do also have one sat behind me. I'm just in two minds as to whether or not it's going to be being used as a giveaway prize for the charity stream at the end of the month, or if I'm going to paint it myself. And the reason I kind of want to paint it myself is because I want to turn it into a traitor commissar. And I just, yeah, it is an awesome model to paint. It's an awesome pose. Look even better, like, decked out in Alpha Legion stuff. Just saying. Also, I'm just dreading fulfilling my promise of making a full army around it now. Yeah. You seem to have a thing about Horde armies, don't you? If it's not Tyranids, now it's Imperial Guard. Good luck. What army is it even? Yeah, Imperial Guard. Or Astra Militarum if you want the, like, official Games Workshop title. So, lots and lots of, like, average infantry, mechanized warfare, lots of tanks and things like that, but all the units are cheap as heck to field. I think it is entirely possible to field, like, an entire sort of artillery version of Guard, but even that still tends to be more models than it has any right to be. Crikey. But I have heard that as being a bit of a criticism lobbied around 10th edition anyway, is that it feels like a lot of armies that used to be big elite armies are now kind of being... you can get Fox proxies for Imperial Guard. Why am I strangely not surprised by that? Dear, oh dear. But, yeah. I have heard that as a criticism, like, lobbied about 10th edition quite a lot, is the idea that it seems to be... that even a lot of the elite armies actually seem to err more towards being Horde armies. Which is a little bit of a shame, I think, but hey-ho. Okay. That's not what I wanted. Sorry. Discord's playing silly buggers. That's really not helpful. There we go. But yes, I still kind of want a little box of Imperial Guard for myself, just so I can turn them into Praetorian Guard, which are like the old Rorke's Drift Old Rorke's Drift British Army, red coats, pith helmets, handlebar moustaches. But, you know, futuristic. Right, so thin red line. Working on your Leviathan stuff. Loving it. Absolutely loving it so far. Interesting choice with the yellow for the barrels on the auto guns. Ooh. I am loving this. Those checks and quartered emblems, so crisp. That's fantastic. And I'm quite enjoying the blend on the power sword as well. That looks really, really fucking good. But this base, man, that's out of this world. In fact, ooh, that's given me some cool inspiration for how to do bases for Tyranids that I'm painting up. I love that. That is genuinely quite amazing. I just realised this is covering my chat window, so I have absolutely no idea what's going on. There we go. That's better. Working on barrel glow. Ah, right. Oh, that's quite cool. Interesting, interesting. So are you going to go into, like, reds and whites and stuff like that to sort of simulate when the barrel gets, like, so hot? Sorry, it's like nearly 11 o'clock at night. My brain's not functioning at full capacity, though. When does it ever? But yeah, this is looking clean as heck. I love it. Nice. Nice, neat work on the decoration on the cape there as well. Oh, I love this. I love what you've done here. I've often been tempted to do effects like that myself on some of the Terminators that I have. But yeah, I really, really like how that's turned out. That looks fantastic. Well done. And Bunker is juiced to his wife's been paid. Apparently she really likes gonks. So he's just been 3D printing a whole butt ton of gonks for her. And I've got to admit, this is kind of cool. I like it. Oh, for me, it's the Angie fish. That just kind of really sells that whole scene for me. I don't know why. Oil paints plus white spirit for the win. Oh, is that how you did that? Ah, clever. Love it. And someone's dropped some... Pillarlook dropped some stuff in Model Showcase. Sneaky little Chaos Dwarves. We do stand Chaos Dwarves on this channel. Ooh. Very nice. Bold choice with the burgundy. Definitely looks really quite lovely. Ah, I think it's like a mix of burgundy and green. I like that. That's quite cool. This is awesome. I do love this. I don't really have an awful lot to say about... Oh, wow. That's quite good work on the skin there. Yeah, I don't really have an awful lot to say about it just because Chaos Dwarves have never really been a thing that's ever popped up on my radar, but they do look fantastic. Thin down oil paint with spirit. It runs into recesses. Ooh. Good to know. Quite loving the basing work that he's done there. I love the inclusion like random tufts on the barrels of the siege weapons. That's kind of cool. Not quite sure what the idea behind that is, but I like it. Let's have a look, see. Has anybody posted anything new in the Shame Golf stuff? Chaos Tate detected exterminatus inbound. I mean, that's the thing, actually. Now that Leagues of Votann are their own thing in 40k, do we reckon we might end up getting some Chaos Tainted variants so we have Space Chaos Dwarves? Because I kind of want that to be a thing now. Oh, this was a couple of weeks ago. Finished up 20 rescue cultists for the Kiddos army. Hey, that's not bad. Ooh. I like it. Definitely has that sort of like mishmash. They've sort of like grabbed whatever weapons they could find kind of vibes that Chaos Cultist is supposed to have. That's nice. I love it. Also, love the sort of variety in skin colours. That's really quite nice to see. And I think that's it. Just as a sort of a reminder, though, for anyone who is taking part, the new season of Shame Golf began like 3 days ago. It will be running usually for 3 months, so we're looking at 1st of January, I think. See, the 1st of January, 1st of February is when the season finishes for the winter season. And hopefully what I'll be painting up this week will actually get me some good way towards getting some good points for myself, actually, which is quite good. But yeah, if you want to take part, it's just a fun little thing we do in our Discord. Nothing serious about it. It's just a little extra motivation to try and get more stuff painted than you buy. We're yet to decide if it's ever actually going to become like a big all singing, all dancing fancy thing or not, only because there's all the like time that's required in doing stuff like that. That's why mostly it's all dealt with by Nash, who is one of our community members and has been sort of like a long time viewer and friend of the channel. And mostly because he volunteered to do it. It's just, yeah, in between everything else that we do around here, it's like even running the Discord's practically a full-time job in itself. That's why nothing really gets done in there for that, for the most part. Just a nice, chill little community for us all to hang out in. Right, we have our Wheel of Names, Wheel of Whips, and this is going to determine what of my Salamander units I'm going to be cracking on with tonight. Weirdly appropriate song, actually. Oh, are we going to be working on a character? Oh, that's quite exciting. Okay. I've got like 4 character models for this army so far, and I've not really done much with any of them. So, yeah. Okay. I'm cool with this. Right, in which case I think the main thing I'm going to need to do is move most of this stuff out of the way. I will be right back. Right. So we've got 4 characters to pick from. I do actually need to do a little bit of repair work because when we had our 1,000-point game the other day, the haft of the hammer on my warlord broke off, so I'm just going to quickly fix that. Theoretically, that shouldn't take too long to sort out. Just need the super glue to start playing ball. There we go. I do kind of want to try and line it up so it looks realistic. It's just a little tricky trying to do so. Especially because of how quick that super glue is going to set. Oh. No. Let's have you back where you are. That works. We just need that to dry now. Just going to try and clean up that super glue because that's just going to cause problems if I'm not careful with it. There we are. No, still not quite set yet. But yes, this guy right here. In fact, I might be safe enough to turn him around now, actually. More or less. I say, as I have a brief dyspraxia moment. Oh god, that's just gonna set me all the way back, isn't it? I sincerely hope that doesn't mean I'm going to have to reapply some more super glue, because that would just be really annoying if so. But, I mean, it's holding pretty okay. I think I just need to be more careful with it. But, yes, this here is a 3D proxy of Vulcan Tushan, the chapter master of Salamanders as a whole. but he doesn't actually have stats in game. But who does is his second in command, which is Captain Adrax Agatone. Issue being, it seems to be almost impossible to actually get the official model for Adrax anywhere. Like, I've tried looking everywhere for it. It never shows up in any game stores. I'm pretty sure even online on Games Workshop's website, it's constantly out of stock. I kind of blame them sticking it in that Christmas battle box from like last year for that. Which is really supremely annoying. Which, you know, means it's fine using this guy in, like, friendly games like me and Ember had last week. But I'm going to be a little bit knackered if I actually want to take my Salamanders list into any kind of, like, official capacity kind of tournament. Which is, yeah, that's somewhat annoying, to say the least. Like, who knows? One day I might get lucky. And I do sort of keep my eyes open on eBay quite often, just in case. But yeah, for whatever reason, that one particular model always, like, it's really hard to get a hold of these days. And there doesn't seem to be any kind of rational explanation for it. It's not like it's one they've discontinued. Like, Vulcan Histan does kind of make a weird amount of sense. Because he's in a similar position. You can't seem to find his model for Love Nor Money either. But he's one of the few... one of the few resin kits of, like, firstborn named characters that Games Workshop still sells, and they haven't discontinued him yet, even though it looked for a little while like they were going to. But he's confirmed to still be in the new Space Marines Codex. So all I can say is hopefully he might get a new model soon. I mean, it's odd that he specifically hasn't actually crossed the Rubicon Primaris yet. I suppose we all deep down kind of expected Commander Dante to be the next one to do that, but it does leave a whole bunch of, like, named characters in this weird kind of limbo. Like, even correct me if I'm wrong, even Pedro Cantor for Ultramarines. Is it Ultramarines? Are Crimson Fists Ultramarines or the Imperial Fist? I can't remember. Either way, pretty popular character, pretty popular named character. Correct me if I'm wrong, he's still firstborn, right? I know he's Crimson Fist, I just can't remember if Crimson Fists are an Ultramarine successor or an Imperial Fist successor, because I don't really care about them for the most part. I always make way too much pasta. Yeah, but then you end up with leftovers, so that's not necessarily a bad thing. Imperial Fist successor. Ah, right, okay. I thought so. I don't think we're going to have much luck with that one way or another, so we're just going to have to leave that alone. So I think it's safe to say I'm not going to be working on him tonight. Spice Kato Sicarius hasn't gone across the Rubicon yet. Yeah, he's another one. I'd actually say I'm more surprised that he hasn't rather than Pedro Cantor now that I think about it. But yeah, that's another one. Very strange. But speaking of Vulcan, I have kind of, like, again, I have a 3D printed proxy Vulcan Histan here. I've kind of been wanting to paint them up for a while now, so this seems like a good excuse to do that. I'll say this much: he did kind of hold his own, in the battle I had against M's Tyranids. Like what kind of didn't go his way was the fact that she swarmed him, like him and his unit of Infernus Marines. She kind of just swarmed them with every unit of Tyranids that were available nearby. So, like, at one point, it was her Winged Tyranid Prime, a group of Termagants, and her unit of, like, a full 10-man squad of Termies, and her Von Ryan's Leapers all piling in on this unit all at the same time, just slowly munching away at a bunch of Infernus Marines, and then eventually piling in on Vulcan himself. And it was quite an amusing sight. It was like seeing a piranha feeding frenzy, is kind of how I was picturing it in my head. All because we were both fighting over like this one objective, because Vulcan has a rule in the game where at the start of the battle he picks one objective. He picks one objective in, I think it's in No Man's Land specifically, that he sort of like, he's honing in on that one objective, and it gives like bonuses and stuff like that, like the objective control characteristic, it becomes like 10 or something crazy like that, for the entire unit plus him, if they go and control that objective. And M had something similar, so just for laughs, she picked that same objective. So it's like, okay, so we're all fighting over that one thing. Okay, this is gonna go swimmingly. So yeah, that was quite amusing, to say the least. Barrel Glow done on Discord in a second. Oh, fantastic. Can't wait to see it. Right. I think main thing I want to do, actually, what might be pretty handy. I have an idea. I'm gonna have a little look at how Vulcan Hastan's meant to look. Just to get some good inspiration. There we go. That should give me some kind of focus for him. I suppose the question then stands, do I want to do the green first, or do I want to do all the trim on him first? Because he does have at least a little bit of trim. On this particular sculpt, it's not as much as he has in any of his other designs, but it's still quite a bit. Choices. I am thinking if I can at least get the green done, then we'll be in a good position. So I'm gonna get some to the green and the gold. I always find that easier. Hi Ken, how are you doing? Yeah, I think that makes more sense. Right. We'll get a bit of sick green. Some lime green. And some scorpion green, or F-Copena green. I'm also going to get out some sun yellow for some of the highlights. And also some dark green for working down into the shadows. Good evening, I'm at work. I'm sick of working where I am, but now at least I have a start date for my new job. Yes, I heard! Congratulations on the new job. I hope it all goes well for you, definitely. Right, if we make it as far as doing like all the reds and things, I think I want to start with... I want to start with terracotta. We'll get some brassy brass for the gold. Nice 32k, yeah, that only gets better. Nice! Well done. Well done indeed. We'll get some black for doing, well, all of the details where that's required. So we're focusing on greens and then base colours for the other details. I'll probably stick with the terracotta for any of the like leathery bits, like things like the holster for his pistol, stuff like that. I'm done with my 9 big pigs, only have my tusk boss to do now. Yes, I was wondering what you were referring to with those. You know what might be helpful is if I don't have that the wrong way around. There we go. Bought 9 more grunters. Ah, I see. That makes sense. Right, I think what we'll do is we'll start with... Yeah, we'll start with the legs, work our way up. That seems like the smartest approach to take, I would say. And just doing as I normally would with my... Will I be seeing in Nottingham next week? Unfortunately not. I really do wish I could be going, but in between needing to go into hospital next week for an operation and it being a little bit short notice to get travel and accommodation sorted out, I am going to have to give this meetup a miss. Trust me, I am pretty sad about that. But give Orky all my best. When you see her, tell her I love her lots. And I'll try my damnedest to be there for the next one. Because I miss you all. But it would be awesome to hang out with you all again sometime soon. Who want to see you in your better half? I know. Trust me. It would have been amazing. But you'll definitely get the chance to next time something like this gets organised. Em's somewhat gutted about it too. But at the same time, this is a hospital appointment we've been waiting on for almost a year now. So it's good that it's finally getting out of the way and sorted. Mm-hmm. Thinking with the breastplate there, we want to try and take these highlights down to about here. Across like that. And I think we'll fill in all those areas too. Even though we're doing the Battle of the Clances here, we'll lead the Great Wah. Oh, that's awesome. I hope that goes well for you. Not sure who I'd be rooting for more, to be honest with you. There we go. We're doing narrative, running on Grunter Stampedes, running Cruel Boys. Oh, in which case then my money's on Grunter Stampede. I mean, functionally Cruel Boys would probably do better, no offense, but I'd prefer it if the Grunter Stampede won. Because big pigs! Piggy, piggy, piggy. Plus, I've gone up against Cruel Boys before, and they're goddamn annoying. Player was an absolute gem. Did a fantastic job on like helping take me through how Age of Sigmar works. It's just, yeah, Cruel Boys are an annoying army to go up against. There we are, just trying to stick to pretty straightforward geometric shapes for where the light would and wouldn't fall. On Vulcan's armor here. So, Snatcher Boss Mazrock the Sneaky has come out of his swamps with the intention of starting a big war. He's telling every Auric that wouldn't listen about his plans, then beating the ones who don't listen over the head with his grappling hook, and stuffing them in the cages hanging from his sludge raker beast. He's been sick of hearing about how the Iron Jaws are the biggest and toughest boys around. Mazrock knows that being cunning is just as important as being brutal, so he's off to prove a point to those braggarts and bring them under his banner as he leads the biggest war the mortal realms have ever seen. Sound of hooves trample across the plains. Rogtech the Grunterlord has risen for 3 days after getting a missive of some stink-ridden Morka prattling about coming close to his plains. This Mazrock thinks he is some bringer of the Great War, when he already sells to the Fist of Gork himself. The Grunter's Rogtech doesn't want himself. If this swamp wants to get close to Rogtech's land and wants to lollygag about an Ironjaw's lands, Rogtech will put his head on a spike. There's only one great war, and no shriveled Morka will lead it. Love it. Oh, you really went all in on this. That's fantastic. Yeah. I'm rooting for you. I want your Gorgrunters to win. Definitely. Right, so it looks like Vulcan's backpack is black. Okay. Changes things slightly because my Salamanders have kept the backpacks green on them. Just so they don't end up too similar to my Flesh Tearers, which have the black helmets, black shoulder pads, black backpacks. Post photos of my Insta, we'll do a few reels maybe. Do it! Do it! Do it! Genuinely sounds like damn good fun, and I'm kind of sad I won't be there to see it. Ah, so those bits on his helmet are done in the brassy gold. Okay. Okay, that makes that a little bit easier. I'll just have to be very careful as I'm going around Vulcan's spear. Only because it's very spindly. And as much as I do like resin and I really enjoy working with it for the most part, it can be quite brittle. Well, it's pretty early days yet, but I feel like we're doing a pretty good job of getting all the midtones in place there. I have to shoot, but I do like that mini Vulcan. Aw, thank you. Much appreciated. Hope you have a good day. And all the best with your new job. Oh, thank you for the raid, Studio J7. Oh, that's greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. Welcome, Raiders. Welcome in. So I just realised now that should be up at the top. There we go. Hello! How are you all? Thank you. Thank you very much for stopping in. Hello, Raiders. I am Eldritch Sophie. And tonight I'll be mostly painting Vulcan Hestan, Forge Father of the Salamanders. Of course, to mark the release of the new Space Marines Codex in the next couple of weeks, considering it went up on pre-order last week and drops in like 10 days' time. You're paying the raid from the other week. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. It goes well, thank you. We just really got started on this, so we're just blocking in all the green armor for the most part. How about yourself? What did you get up to? Here's gathering a little bit on Eldar. Nice. We're doing something similar ourselves. It's Wednesday, so we do what's called WIP Wednesday, where we encourage people to post whatever it is they've been working on, whether it be minis, traditional art, something different, into the Discord, and we'll be showing it off throughout the course of the evening. Not gonna lie, it's a pretty quiet community for the most part, but if you have anything you want to share, feel free. Otherwise, we're a very link-friendly channel, so if you've got something you want to share from Instagram, absolutely go for it. I promise you won't be shot on sight. I've got to admit, thanks to the 40k app being momentarily free, emphasis on the word momentarily there, I have kind of become a little bit Eldar curious. I put together myself a 1,000 point all Wraith constructs list, and I quite like the idea of it. I think it'd be pretty good. But to be honest with you, what I might just do instead is I might just get a hold of the Eldar Combat Patrol and just paint that up. Because I've played a couple of games of Combat Patrol and it's good fun. I've really enjoyed it so far. It's like that sort of like nice right level where you can get like a game done in a solid afternoon. And it doesn't feel too overwhelming because it's still 40k. It's just the rules are a little bit stripped back just to make things a bit easier. They seem it. They definitely seem it. But I have to admit, I had quite a bit of fun with my Salamanders the other day when I actually managed to get a full 1,000-point game in. And I'm not just saying that because I won. Like, genuinely, they were pretty damn good. Could I finish Salamander for good? I'd love to see what the finished work looks like. Yes, actually. I think I might have put them away, but... Tell you what, might work as well. There we are. Oh, fingers crossed I should... Oh, pff, typical. Right, Nah, okay, it's not going to work that way. Right, bear with me 1 second. I foolishly thought this would be easier. So shutting down everything. No, it's quite alright there, studio. It's much appreciated. Here we go. Yeah, this would be much easier if I just do it this way. There we are. Yeah, so this is my Instagram. This be one of my finished Salamander aggressors. Done very similarly in this kind of sort of non-metallic green style. I will say this picture does show up a lot of the mistakes that I made on it. But you'll kind of get the basic gist of where we're going with it. And that, yes, that is my very first time at attempting to freehand the Salamanders logo. So yeah. But I don't think it's too bad. It was my first attempt, and I'm hoping that we can just go from strength to strength from there. Love the colour in Salamanders in general. That always looks so striking. Aw, thank you. Thank you, Stag's Nest. That's much appreciated. But yeah, I've gone for a slightly simplified approach with the rest of my aggressors and most of the battle line. It's Infernus Marines and a bunch of Hellblasters. But Infernus Marines, Hellblasters, and like 6 Eradicators. That's battle line as far as Salamanders are concerned, let's be honest. I'm going for a slightly more simplified approach with those, largely by shooting inks through an airbrush. Again, I'd have to pull some out of the box to really show them off, and I'm not gonna lie, I can't be bothered to do that. So yeah, but I'm sticking with the whole non-metallic green approach for the characters specifically. So Vulcan here. Excuse the super glue mess there. We did have to repair the handle on his hammer. Vulcan to Shan, but there's no actual datasheet for him, so Adrax proxy, pretty much. Also means I don't have to try and hunt down to the corners of the earth for an actual Adrax Agator mini. Captain in Gravis armor. And I do have a Terminator and Librarian armor. Mostly because I needed to make up the points. Must head off. Super busy day, and again tomorrow. Have a great stream and much to all in chat. No problem, Studio. Thank you very much for stopping by. And if you aren't already following Studio J7, definitely go and fix that. He's one of the best painters that you will find here on Twitch. There's no two ways about that. Certainly one of the most hard-working, I'll say that much. It's not a problem at all. And oh dear. Well, that's not ideal. Yeah, that's fine. I think we can probably fix that. Yeah, I think we can still fix that. Hardworking, maybe best painter nowhere near. Don't worry about it. I'm sure your community will back me up on this. Just have fun and enjoy the hobby. Honestly, it's the best thing you can really do. Oh, thank you for the follow. That's greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. Yeah, I think we're like spot on 620. That's awesome. But no, genuinely, that's the best way to be. Just have fun with it. Oh, crikey. Oh dear, apologies. Those I only mentioned it to prior to the raid. I am coming down with some kind of a cold. And yeah, it's not fun. Ah. Oh dear, oh dear. Oh, is everything okay there, Ember? Just had to sort some models that are microns, not millimeters big. What? Yikes. Dear, oh dear. What models were they, just out of curiosity? Ah, there we go. Engage ducks. Oh, is this for that custom order we've got? Yikes, if so. So I think maybe I should have shifted the highlights on the leg over to this side, but oh well. 0.25 millimeter size. Oof. Oof, dear oh dear. Yeah, that's not messing around. Oh, it still works. Just bounce the light around it. As long as we try and stay consistent with the rest of the model, we should be okay. 200 to 250 microns. Oof. Oh, that's quite interesting to know. I didn't realize that that's what microns broke down into. Oh, you learn something new every day. Let's do a little spot highlight of the green round there, round the back of Vulcan's helmet. Bearing in mind, each pixel in the printer is 18 microns. Oof, that is small. That's tiny. Yeah, we have this person specifically through our 3D print store on Etsy who's been ordering a lot of custom gauge and custom made N gauge stuff. N gauge, who isn't, for anyone who isn't familiar, is from the model railway crowd, and it's one of the smallest scales they do. It's kind of like Epic scale for 40k, but for model trains. And it's hecking tiny. And we've been having a lot of fun with her orders because she's doing like this sort of Japanese garden kind of thing. Absolutely fantastic stuff, and it's a heckin' challenge trying to get it all to scale right. However small you're picturing, think even smaller. Right. We'll go into just some straight lime green. There we go. Speaking of, we are running a sale on our 3D print store at the moment, a payday weekend sale which ends tomorrow night, where you can get free shipping on all orders over £25. I'm quite liking how this is turning out so far. I think I feel like I've sort of hit my stride a little bit with the layering and highlighting now. Oh, £15, not 25. Oh, right. I thought it was 25 still. Didn't realise we'd lowered the price on that. Even better. That's astonishingly good value for money. There we are, just following the highlights down on like a straight line. Gets us pretty much where we want it. Generally speaking, you want the brightest area of the highlights to sort of sit parallel with the darkest. And I might go in and correct up some of these, some of this green with a little bit of the dark green, just to really settle that contrast into place. But I'll probably do that once I've done all the brightest highlights. Okay, I think it's all starting to tie in together quite nicely now. I'll probably go down one more level of highlights after this. And it'll just be to do like pinpoint highlights We'll work a little bit of that very vibrant green into it. There we go. That feels a little bit more natural now. There we go. Might just go into the crook in the arm like that. And just across the top of the gauntlet as well. There we are. Right. We'll take a little bit of the scorpion green. A little bit more. Now we have our brightest highlights. Which will literally just dot into some of the sharpest places. Or use it for edge highlighting others. So that we generally keep control over how bright these different levels of light appear. Gonna need to wick some of that off the brush. Just to get a little bit more control over it. And then, last but not least, just these few little areas here on and around the collar and around the helmet. Again, just dotting all these little highlights in place. Just to give it the illusion of depth without going too overboard with it. And just to finish off the green, we'll go into some dark green. And we'll use this to neaten up any areas where we just need to be a little bit cleaner with placement of highlights, etc. Just like little areas down there where we just want the highlights to be a little bit more of a spot highlight, or where some of the highlight colours bled over onto panels underneath. While we're at it, we can also work some of this into some of these sections on the helmet just to break it up a little bit. Just creates that illusion of depth. You can also do the same whilst we're working in and around like the creases in certain armor panels. Again, just gives that impression of depth just as we break up some of these areas. And there we are. Just acts like a little filter just to really hone in on some of the brighter green areas. Alright. I'd say we're almost done there. At least with the green. Now I'll just add a little bit of this very heavily thinned down just in between the fingers, just to separate them a little bit. Yeah, like so. Right. With that done and out of the way, I would say we can go ahead and do some of the gold details. So we'll take some of our brassy brass, thin that down. And this is where it gets interesting. We'd have to be a little selective with this. So I am thinking... for one thing, we want to do some of these areas here on the spear. Probably just some of this banding. Don't have to be especially neat at this particular stage, because we can go in and fix up some of these areas later. There we go. I think we'll also do just the little collar around this part of the spear shaft. Also just because that's going to be pretty easy to fix up if we need to. And so we'll split this element of the powered part of the spear into two. So we'll do the top area of it in the brassy gold. And carefully does it. Just while we do the ridge along the top of the knee pad there. And we can go back in and fix up some of that green after the fact. But if we get this bit done first, that'll make things a little easier for us. And we'll just do the skull on his knee pad there as well. And then we've got this chain situation hanging down here as well. So we'll just paint that up in the brassy brass. Now, this is by far not as obnoxious as doing trim on Chaos Space Marines, which, let's face it, I'm pretty damn used to at this point. But it is sort of up there. And we've got also this design hanging down from his belt as well. We won't worry too much about the scales because we'll do all that later. And so I'm not worrying too much about being super neat. I'm more focusing on coverage whilst keeping the paint still relatively thin. And we've got the little flame gauntlet he's got as well. So we'll do those. We'll do that and the brass. Just so it matches up with the rest of the flamers. And you've got these areas of trim around the shoulder pads peeking out. So we'll do those in the gold as well. Yeah, not worrying too much about being super neat at this stage. Almost all of this can be corrected. Right now we're just mostly working on getting good coverage. Ooh. And likewise, any area that's going to be black, if we get some of the gold out on that, that really is the least of our worries. So that's things like the shoulder pads and the backpack. And we've got little embellishments on the back here. So things like this wreath design. We've got this little sort of bracket here around the mid section of the power pack. We'll also do any like little pipes. Just like that. If it weren't for the fact that the full backpack appears to be black, I'd be tempted to do the rims around the exhaust vents in the gold as well, but I want to try and stick as close to the design as intended with this one. There we go. Now I just have the trim to do around this shoulder pad here. I do want to be a little bit more careful with this one just because it is quite close to all that green we've been working so hard on for most of the evening. And there's a bit of chain across the shoulder pad here where the chapter symbol is. And there's weird sort of Crozius here design on the gauntlets. And we also have that gauntlet to do as well. So we're not quite done yet. We're almost. There we are. And we're going to do our last roundup of the Discord pretty soon before we finish up for the night. So if you have anything you want to show off, now is your time to do it. There we go. I might have to refer back to the Warhammer 40k wiki in a minute just to get an idea as to what this flame gauntlet that Vulcan has is meant to look like. Oh, also there's like a chain across the top here that I didn't actually notice last time on my first pass. It's sort of attaching some drake scales to his shoulder. Yep, and then there's the crest on the helmet. Just to do that. And he's got a few little brassy gold details on the helmet that we really need to sort out. More so fussed about the sort of top and trim of that mohawk crest thingy, or what's it? Because I think I'm going to do like the inside of that in black. I just feel like that would be a bit more striking. And we can also do the bit that mounts the flaming halo to the back of his backpack there. We'll do that in the gold as well. Just because that appears to be how it's designed. Right. And here's where things get a little tricky. Now, just these sort of details that curve around the sides of the helmet. Apparently those are gold as well on him. And there's the little skull. And the center of it is forehead there. Oh, slowly getting there. Might do a quick second pass of all those areas, which shouldn't take too long because we managed to get most of it on the first go around. So right now it's just a case of filling in some of those extra details. Then we might spend a quick bit of time fixing up any of the green. Or I might save that for tomorrow. So we're going to do another painting stream tomorrow night. I suspect we're probably going to work on him some more. Actually working quite nicely. We're not constraining ourselves too much to Vulcan's core design. Because this proxy clearly there's some very clear differences. And I feel like we kind of embrace those. We end up with a much, much better result. What else find like molded chain when chain is molded specifically against a piece of armor? So it'd just be like one of the most difficult bits to do. Like, I do trim all day long, but when there's chain for whatever reason, it just feels like there's so many ways it can go wrong. I feel like I usually end up having to correct that more than anything else. Might just be me. And I'm not even talking about chainmail either. Like, chainmail's pretty easy. I quite enjoy painting chainmail. But it's got, when you've got like big chunky links of chain like that, some reason it's always a bit of a nightmare. I feel like the only way I can really get it to look even halfway good is to just paint everything around it until the whole area is covered. And then do a mountain of very finicky corrective work after the fact. I'm sure there's probably like a cheaty way of doing it that doesn't suck. Get what you mean. I think it's where the chain meets the model surface for me. Yeah, exactly. Like, even if the chain's like hanging down off of something, even that's not as annoying to paint. I'm glad it's not just me. Right, it's almost there. As I say, I think we'll do a quick little round up of the Discord shortly, and then we'll probably head off because it's like nearly 1 in the morning, and I'm streaming at a time that's much later than I intended. So we will probably have to do a bit of corrective work on the green, but we can spend a good chunk of tomorrow doing that. Not something I really want to worry too much about doing right this very second. just primarily hit the top and sides of the helmet crest there. And do a quick single pass over those decorations on the sides and the skull in the middle. And last up will just be all these collars and brackets on the spear. Right. I feel pretty happy about that. Actually, depending on how quick we are, we might be able to get away with doing the corrective work and the green now, because if I work fast, we should be alright. Like, there's the slight risk some of it might look a little sloppy. But I'm weirdly not that worried about that. I think if I work backwards through my colours, then that should help somewhat. Yeah, it's not actually like a massive amount that we need to do with it, which is pretty great. There we go. Yeah, we might be able to work through this pretty quickly. Right, we'll move down into the sick green and lime green mixture. There we go. There we are. I think we're doing pretty well with this. We'll come back to that bit because I think we need to go into a darker green for that area. Yeah, I was a little worried this was going to take a lot more effort to fix up than it actually has so far, which is pretty good. That makes me pretty happy. Again, we'll work that all the way up into there. Not going to worry too much about the inside of that crest because we're going to paint that up in black. Right. I think best bet now would be any dark green areas. So we've got this like little area here, either side of the belt. I think we need a bit more paint. That's just way too thin. Also work a little bit in and around there as well. Because again, it's the area where the chin meets the surface of the model is where we've had the most difficulty with it. Again, I'm not going to worry about the inside of that knee pad there because that's going to be painted black too. So far, pretty good. I'd say it's just little areas for the most part. There we go. Almost there. I think we just want to go around the skull in the middle there. And yeah, for the most part, I think we're pretty much done. Yep, I feel pretty happy with that. No doubt, when I revisit this tomorrow, I'll probably see some area where I just kind of go, yeah, we need to redo that. But for now, I'm pretty chuffed with that. We've got all the green done. We've got the base coats down on the gold. We can come back in and do base coat on the black and the Drake scales and all that good stuff. And we'll do all of that tomorrow. Looking great so far, really nice contrast. Thank you, much appreciated. It's what I'm aiming for. Definitely what I'm aiming for. Right, we'll do one last roundup of the Discord. There we go, right. Right, what's been dropped into the whips? Oh! Thin Red Line has been doing some more work on the glow effect on the barrel on his Terminator there, and that looks fantastic. Ooh, I love that crisp, shiny highlight along each barrel there. That looks so good. Well done. think that's it for now, though. Which is fine. Not a problem at all. We'll be back reviewing what's been popped into the Discord next Wednesday, but we'll be back with a hobby stream tomorrow night. So, let's see. Let's see who we can go ahead and share the love over to. As full disclosure, I have absolutely no idea who's even still live at this time of night. Ooh. Oh, well, okay, well, there we go. Hellfire Hobbies. They've only been going for about half an hour. Yeah, I'll chuck you all in their direction. Yeah, fantastic. So, big thank you to everyone who's joined me tonight. Big thank you to everyone who joined me for the video game stream we did earlier in the day as well. It'll be a similar kind of thing for tomorrow. We'll be doing a video game stream on the afternoon as we're playing some more Ravenous Devils, our cannibalism/capitalism simulator. And on the evening time, hopefully at a more reasonable time, we'll come back and work some more on Vulcan here. Otherwise, I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day, and I shall see you later. Bye!